Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, then I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money. Monday to Friday, we pop off at 6 p.m. Rain, sleet, or snow. Pregaming is good to go, and it is raining out there right now. It was hailing, it was snowing, now it's raining. But we got ourselves a card to cook up here tonight. Big action. A lot of fun this afternoon. We had a soccer stream. Hopefully a lot of you guys and girls were able to check that out with us. I didn't fare too badly here. Didn't fare too poorly. Got cute with a draw and a Mo Salah goal that didn't happen. But, hey, Barcelona draw no bet gets there for me. We had the Man City and under 3.5. Got there for me. Nice little draw action at plus 295 to get there for me. Now, if baseball can get there for us, that'll be a different story. So, going to be a fun night, though. We've got all kinds of things in the works here. Wednesday night means we shoot first strike after this show. That'll be out for you guys around 9:30, 10 o'clock or so. Probably closer to 10 o'clock, realistically. We've got golf action heating up tomorrow. This will be the last tournament before the Masters. MMA Jeff's already released his golf bets out there. He's got two favorites and then, or two outright winners, I should say, and then some top fives and top tens for you. I'll have some golf action out there tonight as well. But tonight, we've got ourselves a small hockey card, a decent NBA card, and just a couple of baseball games. So we're going to get paid tonight. And this card's going to be fun. This is one of those cards where I was looking at it going, is this how I'm going to get my action tonight? And this is the way it looks. So that's the way we're going to talk about cooking the books here. We're going to start with baseball. We're starting with baseball tonight specifically because the Colorado Phillies game pops off at 6:45 p.m. We need lots of time to get that action in for you guys because there's some bombs you don't want to miss out on. We're going to go Arizona and the Yankees. And probably not going to touch that. Well, I got some Braves action and some parlays, just some bombs that I'm trying to throw out there. So we'll see what that does for us. Then we'll go to the NHL. And I think there's, 5 games tonight. I've got action in the Minnesota Rangers spot, Florida and Toronto spot, and Seattle and Vancouver spots. Playoff teams, trying to find that playoff magic. And then we'll close it up with 2 NBA games, the Utah Jazz, Houston Rockets, and the Atlanta Dallas Mavericks spot to bring us home to round out this evening. Yeah, I see some of you guys talking about it. I thought the Mets would bust up the Marlins here. It's still early. 2-1 in that Marlins game. You can use the Tigers coming back in the 9th inning here. 3-2. They're trying to muster up some runs here, but certainly haven't found any action there. The Padres are busting up the Guardians, but don't look now. Runners on first and third. 4-1 in that game. And the Giants and Astros, well, they could just do me a favor and put me out of my misery here. I'm sweating. It's under 8.5. It's 5-3. They got runners on first and third as well. Bottom of the 6th inning with 2 outs. So sweat I will. That Twins-White Sox game was in a record rain delay, it seemed like, out there. They got this one in right before cancellation. Hell or high water, they were playing this game, it looks like here. The Twins are up 1-0. And that's the way we're going to get after it tonight, you guys. We've got the Red Sox and Orioles. I already talked about that game earlier today. I tied that one to a parlay with the under 8.5 in Houston. So I've got the first 5 under 4.5 with the under 8.5. It's sweaty, but I've seen crazier things happen. 5-3 getaway day. Why not just shut this game down in that Giants-Astros game? Giants can take their win and move on. Why not? I'm good with that. It works for me. But again, 6:45, Rockies and Phillies will be the first game that we talk about here tonight. So get ready and get set. You know the deal. Give a quick recap here. Yesterday, decent day all in all. Down about a unit show-wise here. 4-3, Anaheim, San Jose. Yeah, last minute goal. And then the Sharks lose anyways to the Ducks in what we were calling the Tankathon spot out there. I was surprised to see Vegas lose to Edmonton 2 days in a row. Everybody was on that Avalanche game, and I was like, nope, not us. And then everybody seemed to be on that Vegas -1.5 puck line trend. 18 times when they won by the puck line. Now, that trend's still in play. Because when they win, it's the puck line that they win by. And they lost. They lost outright to the Edmonton Oilers. So Leon Draisaitl back, ready to attack. And it seems like might just be enough while they continue to rest McDavid. Look, 153 was the final in that Chattanooga game, and we had 147, so we did not get the under. We did get the under in that Houston Astros San Fran game, 3-1 final there. The under got cooked in that Toronto game. KV was right on point. The second game in the back-to-back, legs get tired, and I don't know so much, though. It was 137 points scored by the Chicago Bulls. It wasn't like they were tired. Toronto stinks. 118 points they put up on the board, and it goes over. And, the Blues lost in regulation as well. Won the game, but lost in regulation. Then we did get some runs, though. We got a win with the Brewers. We came back on, said these guys are just too good. Not that they're too good, but it just felt like a good spot with that young pitcher. Should have had the first 5 in there as well, but we got the Brewers full game, and we got the Hoskins RBI. So the RBI train is rolling. We're cashing tickets there. That was a nice that closed at plus 170, way down from plus 220 something earlier in the day. But the Nationals' first 5 didn't cash either. So it's the way the cookie crumbles, down about 0.8 units on the day. But we're going to build off of this. We're going to find our way back to victory row, and got a bunch of games out there tonight. That is for sure, with a double dipper in this Colorado spot. So very excited to hear what you guys have to say. You know the deal. The best chat in the business assembles here. We want to see the plays that you guys are on so we can talk about those together, collectively. Before we do anything, though, most important thing, we're viewer supported. We need your guys' help. We love the memberships, enhanced members as well, trying to get you guys a sheet of winning plays. Kind of going to see more afternoon baseball here. We'll see the getaway days with the afternoon spots there. And that's where you can expect to see some of the premium plays, if you will, that we have out there. Like the Wednesday show. We'll see what the views did. Maybe we'll see if we get a nice slate like we had today. We had like 10 soccer games. We had, 10 baseball games too. So if we can find a nice meaty slate like that, we'll spend some time with you guys going live, trying to give out some winning plays. Just fun to hang out, cap the card together, kind of talk some sports. It was just like a little sports lounge. I was saying the sub when we were done. I said, just kind of kicking it, talking some games, looking for some live bets. And we did get that live bet with the draw in Crystal Palace. So that was a nice little score in not sudden death, but, stoppage time, I guess. 50 minutes of stoppage time. Such an arbitrary number. Nonetheless, being viewer supported, the most important thing you can do is hit the thumbs up button. So if you haven't done so, now is the time in the show where we do that and we get rolling. 6:45 for this Rockies game. Let's not spend too much time dilly-dallying. Close that chat out. Hit the thumbs up button. Then pop the chat back open and we'll go to work. Shout out to my guy, 9 Legacy. This is the paid in full parlay. 4 legs hit. Put 50 on it. He made $360. That was how we started the show off right there, too. That was a nice little spot to get in. That Mets game was sweaty under. But a great casher. I was laughing because I cashed another parlay and I gave it to my boy and I said, did you play this? And he said, he screwed it up. He screwed up one of the legs. I gave him a 6-legger. It's just over 50-1. And he screwed up one of the legs. He went the other direction. Ultimately, Arizona Yankees, we were on the over. Jover was on the over. That was part of the parlay. And he went with the under. So shame on him. He missed out on a 50-1er. But my guy, 9 Legacy, he got himself some money out there. Nice, dude. Good job. Good score. I was laughing afterwards. I was like, I can't believe we just popped off the show with a 4-legger off the cuff. But, we're looking at the card all day, so it wasn't entirely off the cuff. But let's go. Let's see what you guys have to say now. Let's see these best bets. Get them in the chat. Get your pen and paper out. You want to write these plays down. They're going to start all throughout the evening. We got 6:45 action, 7 p.m. action, 8 p.m. action, 9 p.m. action, 10 p.m. action. And then First Strike will be out. So you guys can check out those videos. We also have a video out there for rugby. Our man Dan, his boy Spikey, giving us the plays there. They got a nice little, I think they're doing a ladder challenge. I think they're going to do like a rollover challenge, I think is what they're doing out there. And they're going to show you guys exactly how to get to the window with winning tickets in rugby. That's the overnight action. That's the stuff that goes on down under while we're all sleeping. Put your money to work and check out that video. Only 5 minutes long, so it shouldn't take you a ton of time to check it out. Of course, Ramon Scott and VB MMA Picks did their early look for UFC this Saturday. We'll be popping off Saturday. I don't want to say a time because the last time I gave a time, it was off here. Let me look. 6:15 is what the card is showing. So probably be 5:45-ish that we will kick off. But here's the thing. Tomorrow, Thursday night. You know we run Thursday night live streams. And we have a tendency to win a lot of money, as we do most of the time with these live streams. But tomorrow, special treat. The PFL, little MMA combat action on a Thursday night will take place. So we'll have a full card for the PFL. Kind of like the UFC, if you guys haven't checked it out to some degree. They do some cool little tournaments and contests out there. But PFL action tonight. We'll have the boys ready to go, sharing some combat looks out there. We'll have some college hoops. We'll have the NBA. We'll have the NHL. It's going to be a full Thursday nighter. So make sure you get your rest and get your chores done and out of the way so you can have a fun time with us tomorrow night. But let's get rolling here. We'll start with Jover and his over. And he's going to the Blackhawks and Avalanche. He gave it out in the morning steam at -140 for the Avs and the Blackhawks. And it's the first period overs. We know what's been going on out there in Chicago, in Chi-Town, in the Windy City. First period overs are a thing in Chicago, not outside of Chicago, inside Chicago. When they're playing in Chicago, those first periods do like to cash. I was just going to try to pull that up and see what the number's looking like now. Let's see. It's got a little steam. It's caught a little steam. You know what I like to do in those cases there? I like to pivot to both teams to score. Last time we did that, the Chicago Blackhawks were the team that scored. This is now +165. Both teams to score in the first period. So kind of a little intertwining of making that thing a plus money play, but leaning to goals from Jover in that first period over. He's been on a run. And Gerald Jones' run continues. Best bet now, 29-18. Look at my man. Kicking ass, taking names. And he's giving you guys another one. He's going to the NBA. He's got Sacramento. He's got the Wizards. He's got the under. 232 from our guy, Gerald Jones. Thank you for sharing. And he says A's in Sacramento over City. Live bet over 8.5, 10.5, and 12.5. It's over City in that ballpark. That's what Ramon was saying on the live stream today. He said, it looks like it's an over spot. And it was 11.5. And I joked to him. I said, man, I bet you the Cubs could go over 11.5 on their own. 10-2. Oakland getting busted up. And I learned early, we don't take Oakland as a favorite. We don't do it. There's no reason to be taking Oakland as a favorite, but I did it. And I own it, and I'll take the L there. Joseph Alvarado's here, ready to go. Joe Dubs in the house. Fernando Mendoza was there hanging out with us. He says, mic up. Let's go. Redbeard says Mets just can't score. And Fernando did like the soccer show earlier today. It was fun. It's fun talking. A little different. It's a little change of pace on the middle of the week, middle of the afternoon. But, hey, it's always a good time to get some cash. Redbeard says Clay Holmes can't pitch. It's frustrating. There's my guy, AOD. Barry's in the house. Is that raining here in Brooklyn? Stay tuned, my friend. Stay tuned. I'm going to guess about 10 p.m. And it's an ugly rain. It was a thundering boom. It was like a 40-minute straight roar of thunder. I said earlier, I had to look outside to see if there was like a semi parked outside of my house because it was just constant roaring of thunder. Let's go. Gonzo's in the house. He likes Boston and Arizona. Still like that. Let's see what's going on here. It might be the greatest unders if the San Fran-Houston game can hang on. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Let's go. Peter Grassi is in the house. My man says New York Yankees first cash last night. Stop to you engineers here. Trisha M's in the house. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Zophase here in Sports Money Week Trust. Appreciate you, my man. Let's go. Sub says fun day. Thanks to everybody that could make it by. Absolutely. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool spot there to hang out and just kind of, like I said, Like Sports Lab, just kind of kicking it, trying to figure out how to get paid. How to get paid. I'm trying to get paid. I'm trying not to be distracted here, but the Tigers could. No, let's just put that away. We know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. Let's go. Let's get this cash, boys and girls. Huh? Peter Gracia, New York Yankees cash. First 5 with some luck. And then the over cash. It's funny, I gave out the San Francisco, or not the San Francisco, what game did I give out the first 5? Oh, the LA Angels, first 5 under. And then I was talking to Ramon. He's like, I'm on the over. And the over smashed. But the first 5 under cashed. So 12-5. But we snuck a first 5 under in there. We also got the first 5 under in that Blue Jays Nationals game today. 4-2 final. The Jays beat them up. Remember this one. When the AL plays the NL and the AL just won, you fade the NL. They can't find a way to bounce back. They don't bounce back. Trisha M's got the Panthers. Samska? I can't read that. Nice. Over 1.5 shots at plus 185. A little shots on goal parlay for Trisha M. Zope says, I was staring at that Crystal Hampton draw for like 5 minutes. It's like plus 200 something pre-match. Wish I had known Hughes was live streaming. Man, I always miss the subhuman goodies. Well, that was a pimp slap goodie. So that was a pimp slap goodie at plus 295. But you got to follow us, man. Follow us on Twitter. Make sure you turn the notifications on because when we do go live, we tweet it out. We let you guys know. Sometimes YouTube's slow. Sometimes they're get notified in 3 hours that this show just went live. And we're certainly live right now. Skunk Blasters, Scumbag play of the day, my man. Skunk Blaster dropping in here, dropping some goods on us with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, yeah, just hit the bell, man. Just follow the Sports Money Wins accounts. Follow Sports Money Wins at X and turn those notifications on because anytime we put that content out there, that's where we try to notify everybody that it's rolling. He says, can't miss those soccer streams. Yeah. Yes, sir. 9 Legacy's giving us Nebraska minus 10.5. I like that spot. And a same game parlay, OKC Thunder, Moneyline, and Pistons team total under for 9 Legacy. Peter Gracia says, it's 9.5 too many runs in the Bronx, cold, and may rain at 7. We're going to talk about it. Kelly V, she had the tired legs factor with the Bulls. Cleveland first quarter and first half for Kelly V. Zofe says, in fact, you put me on the first and only draw live ever cashed in 2025. Damn near fell out of my seat when time expired. Kelly V says, Skeens, baby. It was a Skeens day. The unders continue to be dominant in Skeen starts. Couldn't cover his K-prop, though. Couldn't cover his K-prop. I'll tell you what, there was a lot of action on that Tampa spot. Who's been silently performing early here? Well, I don't want to say that too much here. But I was looking at Pepio. Take a look at this guy. He's a bounce-back guy after he misses his K-prop. That's something I noticed last year. Just keep your eyes on it. The Twins score again. It's 4-0. Come on, Tigers. 3-2. Do something for me. Fucking bums. Okay. You make me money, you're good. If you don't, you're a bum. That's it. Am I biased? Try not to be. Just have to, salute my money. I have to root for my money. All right. We got 25 minutes till this first game pops off here. And we got to talk about this one because this is a boom or bust opportunity for us. Boom or bust. The Colorado Rock, I got to change my game plan here because normally, as you know, I like to start off with the NHL, but because we're starting off with Major League Baseball, I got to get just a couple things changed up here. And the Rockies opened up as big dogs at plus 260, and they've gotten wider to plus 280. The thing is, 99% of the bets and 96% of the cash have come in on the Phillies, and the line hasn't moved. Totals come down 7.5 to 7 with 99% of the bets and 98% of the cash on the over. And we've got reverse line movement. So as we look at this line, and you see a 7, let's not go out on a limb here. They're telling you, did Detroit not score? Scumbags. They're telling you in this game, we're not going to see a lot of runs. We got Wheels on the mound, Zach Wheeler for the Phillies with a 1.5 ERA. And we've got Freeland starting his season off fresh for the Rockies here. And what we've seen with the Rockies is they like to score early and then blow it late. Very much been the case. And live betting these guys here, I think has to be the strategy when you're taking a team, when you're playing a team like the Rockies, I guess I should say. It's hard to lay minus 325 for the Phillies. That's a big number. But should the Rockies go up, you might be able to catch yourself a minus 150 or minus 180. Maybe it's just a parlay piece, maybe. But, you can also take an opportunity. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to skin that cat. Let me talk to you about this stuff. Right now, we've got the Phillies down the Rockies in that first game of the series, 6-1. We don't get this every day. We don't get it every day. We get it today. We're going to get a double dipper today. Now, we did this last year. I'm not interested in the plus a half in the first 5. I'm interested in the reason being that if you look at this first 5, and I'll talk to you about why in a second here, but if you look at this first 5, right? First 5 plus a half is plus 130. But you're paying $1.30 for that half, and we're double dipping this thing. And we're counting on it being a plus 1.5 spot. So if we push the first 5, well, then we're down to just 1 unit, and we need this team to lose by no more than 1. And why am I taking the first 5 and singling that out and going on the money line? Because 2 things. 1, the books are telling us we're not going to see a lot of scoring. Now, they could be wrong, but it's cold and shitty in the Northeast right now. There we go. There you go. Stop stabbing me. Just shoot me. 6-3, the San Francisco Giants crush my under against Houston. But Kyle Freeland is the guy that we're looking at here. And this first 5 specifically because Freeland, as a dog, if the team he's playing came off a win and the total's less than 8, in other words, they're not expecting runs and he's got to be motivated because this team's going to bring their best game against him. He rolls 7-0. It's not a mistake. 7-0. Dog, team he's playing is coming off a win, totals less than 8. So this one opened at 7.5, and then we had that reverse line movement to 7. This is where I kind of looked at this thing and thought, well, if they're not expecting runs, Wheels should deal. Why can't Freeland deal? And if we know Colorado likes to go up early and blow it late, why can't Colorado notch one across there and go up 1-0 or 2-1 through the first 5 for us to cash a plus 260? Shit the bed late in the game and take away with a plus 1.5 and plus 120. So I'm isolating and singling out the pitcher in this one, specifically looking at Freeland, expecting a lower scoring game. 1-0, 2-1, first 5. We cash with this Colorado spot, and then we look to pick up that plus 1.5. Maybe they hang on for the win. Maybe they shit the bed in the bottom of the 9th inning and let the Phillies come back and win the game like 4-3. It's kind of the way that feels to me with this game, and that's the way I want to attack it. So that's the way we're going to go. That's the way we're going to open this card up. Excited about a nice big plus money opportunity here, and it's not just plus money for the sake of plus money. It's a big trend that we're riding here in this exact circumstance. Now, yeah, the Phillies should go out there and kick their asses. But even if you lay the one, you have to lay even minus 1.5, minus 130, minus 2's minus 105. You got to lay 2.5 runs to turn this thing into a profit center at plus 122. And with 7 runs, they're not saying that's going to happen, especially seeing Freeland shut teams down and find a way to get a win. So this could be one of them sneaky, dodgy, cagey little Colorado pulls it out and everyone sits back going, who had that on their bingo card? And we can all raise our hands and say, we did. So game number 1, we're going to pop off. It's a double dipper. A unit on the first 5. Big score. Like I said, the plus a half's around plus 130. But here's my thought process with that. So we just talked about Freeland and how it should shut things down. What if they do go out there and get nuked 3-1? You lost a plus a half anyways. So we're not here to play the insurance business. We're here to play the get that big money in my pocket business here. Are they more likely to get blown out or be tied? Well, they're more likely to get blown out. So let's go with the big score and let's look at Freeland at 7-0 and shut that thing down. That's my thought process. That's my rationale behind why and how I can justify playing 2 units on that game and why I'm not messing around with that plus a half. $1.30, that's half your, 260 to $1.30, that's half, right? That's half your big score makes it just an average score, right? Kind of just an average score. Well, I want the big score. That's how we play baseball. 162 games over the season. And if we do that enough times, you don't even have to win plus 260s at a 50% rate to be profitable. You can win those things at about a 35% rate over the course of the season and still find a way to turn a profit. So we're going to count on this one being a dub tonight. We'll see if they can start this thing off 6:45. It'll be fun to see. I look forward to you guys going, oh, the Phillies scored. The Phillies are up. Like the game's over. I'll hang on to my tickets though. We'll see what happens. It's all good. It's all fun. Let's go to the 7 o'clock game. It's going to be a Prime Video special. Prime Video special. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the New York Yankees. Of course, yesterday we saw monster runs. Yankees came through early. Diamondbacks came through late. Game goes over the total. And we have a little bit of a rematch situation. And I'll talk to you about that in a second. Now, 87% of the bets and 85% of the cash have come in on the Yankees. This line's gone from minus 126 to minus 140. So there is 14 cents of movement towards the Yankees. However, the bigger bettors do have their eye on that cash, that plus money score with the Arizona Diamondbacks. The total's gone from 7.5 to some 8s, sort of. You get 99% of the bets and 99% of the cash on the over. That's not where you'll ever find my money. 99%, 99%. And if I did it, I'll never tell anybody about it. Because it's just screaming public and runs. Overreaction to what they saw yesterday. It's cold, man. It's cold. Lucky Power says under in the Yankees. And, I'm looking at this game here, and I told you this is a rematch spot. What's the rematch spot? Well, these guys played last year. It was this exact matchup. It was at the end of the season. And we had this exact pitching matchup. Rodon, Gallen. What do we see? Well, we know overall, pitching format, pitching matchups, what's Rodon? He's a lefty. Second best team in Major League Baseball last year to smash lefties. Second best, the Arizona Diamondbacks. The number one team? Well, that was the LA Dodgers. You might have heard of them. They did win the World Series. The thing about that number, if you want to look at how close it was, 795 OPS for the Dodgers against lefties. 794 OPS for the Diamondbacks. So when they played Rodon, what happened in that last game? Well, the Diamondbacks blasted them 7-1. It was a road game. They were in the Bronx. And if you look back and you peel the onion and you look at that game, who got busted up? Not the bullpen. It was Rodon. 5 of the 7 runs came off of Rodon because they mashed lefties, them Diamondbacks. He went 6 innings in Zach Gallen. Just 3 hits on him. Only 3. Struck out 8. 2 strikeouts. Guy leading Major League Baseball in home runs. You might have heard of him. Aaron Judge. So when I look at this game and I look at heads and tails of this thing here, Diamondbacks aren't scared of the Yankees. Diamondbacks aren't scared of Rodon. Rodon should be scared of the lefty mashing Arizona Diamondbacks. And, Gallen's not scared of Judge. So at the end of the day, put it all together. What do we got? Nice plus money price tag. I told you, I looked at this card and I was like, really? Is this how my card is going to go down today? Yeah. Well, that's the way it is. What it is, what it be. Now, granted, obviously we saw last game, it was on top of this thing. If you want to look at recent performances, this will be the second game for Rodon on the season. He busted up the Brewers, right? He did end up with 7 strikeouts in 6 innings. But he did kind of leak it a little bit that first inning. He did kind of shit the bed in that first inning. So with all due respect, he got lucky to finish that game the way he did. I think this is going to be a tough spot for him against a team that's not scared, ready to go, and they've knocked him around before. So we'll take ourselves a spot with the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's the 2 baseball games. I wanted to get those out of the way early because they are early starts. Let you guys think about what I had to say just a little bit. Just a little bit. Think about it. Maybe you want to tail me on some of these plays. hey, that's your call. Just going to lay out how I played my card. And let's see what you guys have to say. Peter Gracia says, agreed. The only way I'd bet that game is Kelly V's. Zoe, too popular. We still make money. First 5 under. I'm not sure. PGH lead after 5. Oh, I think maybe that's Pittsburgh. Dodgers. Yeah, that's tough. Okay. Let's see what we got. Maybe a Zona plus under parlay for Peter Gracia. You guys are talking about that Pirates game. But that sucked. It was a weird number. Skeen's got it. Shut him down. He got the win. That's it. He wasn't spectacular, but he got the win. And sometimes that's all you need to do. There's a lot of hype about how Tampa Bay's owned the Pirates in that series, and that may be true, but any given day, any given spot, we'll see a situation like the Diamondbacks prevail for us. Okay, let's move on over to the NHL. Yeah, I got you guys. I figured it so. I figured it as you guys are going, but I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. Okay. Let me pull up the old goalie radar here so we can talk about the NHL. I really like this NHL card today. The Capitals and the Hurricanes, Frederik Andersen, Logan Thompson. Second leg of a back-to-back for the Capitals, and they fell apart there at the end against Boston. It should be a Carolina spot. I'll tell you, I did sprinkle a little parlay together. -1.5 Carolina, -1.5 Toronto. I did sprinkle a little of that action in there. And then I added a couple other dogs to it. Frederik Andersen, fresh and rested off of his delayed start to his season, and then he came back, and then he gets back out on the IR again. The guy's been dealing with some health issues. He's 12-5 with a 2.01 goals against average, 91.9% save percentage. Carolina's got a 2-game winning streak. I get it. I don't know if I can get down with it's got to be Carolina in the under. I mean, if you look at the pricing on this game, it suggests Carolina in the under. It's just wildly inappropriate line. -210 for the Hurricanes. Now, I did hear Wayne Gretzky will be in attendance for every last Capitals game the rest of the season to see if the record gets broken. He's now, 4 goals shy? Good for him. Good for them. I'm not going to get involved with it. I had the 2+ OV goals yesterday at on +800 or something like that. He gets one in the end of the first period. He doesn't do anything else the rest of the game. Disappointed situation. But we've got the Minnesota Wild, the New York Rangers popping off here in the Garden. And we've got Igor Shesterkin, Filip Gustafsson. And we've talked about these goalie stats enough, right? 2.53 goals against average, 91.6% for Gustafsson, 2.84, 90.6% for Igor. Minnesota's lost 4 of their last 5. It's not Gustafsson's fault. We talked about this guy. He's been playing great, 26 of 28 saves his last game. Now, the thing about this is going back to the start of March. We talked about this for the last game for the Minnesota Wild against the New Jersey Devils. What happened? He's a 2.53 goals against average on the season, 91.6%. Since March, he's ratcheted down his goals against average to 1.98, and he's increased his save percentage to 93%. Rangers just smacked away on the San Jose Sharks. Good for them. They busted him up real nice, 6-1. The Sharks stink. Not Shesterkin's best year, but look, they're trying for a wild card spot in the East. This is going to be a battle. These guys should be fired up. Both teams should be fired up. And because both teams are in a battle for the playoffs with what used to be dominant goaltenders who are playing better, we should see guys blocking shots. We should see a low-scoring affair. Probably even see a situation where both teams pick up a point and we end up going to overtime. They need those points. So they're not going to be – what we might see on the flip side is if a team like the Rangers goes down early, say they go down 3-1, they might have to get crazy, do something nuts with their goalie, like pull them if they get a power play, and now you got a 6-on-4, which opens up the empty netter. Either way, I like Minnesota to win this game. As crazy as that kind of feels and sounds, because you would think it's a Ranger spot, but man, the Rangers have been struggling. Granted, they beat the Sharks and did the slump buster, but they got the shit kicked out of them the series of games before that. The play I'm making on this game, though, 86% of the bets and 91% of the cash on the over. Not for me. No, sir. No way. I'm going to the under here at the Garden. Playoff atmosphere. That's the way we're going to get paid in this NHL game. It's a little juicy at minus 120. I see our guy Razor Sharp Picks. He's up in this piece. What's up, Razor Sharp Picks? He's giving you guys some action here. Arizona Yankees under 8 for Razor Sharp Picks. What's up, Razor? Thursday night, my friend, PFL. It's a big night of combat on Thursday. Paul and Boats calling me out. Paul and Boats, I don't spend a lot of time watching those other channels anymore. But good for him. I believe that. I feel like Jose's a plus money capper. Did Jose mention the 7-0? Did he mention the 7-0 for Freeland? Fireball shots with the Razor, says Peter Gracia. Let's go. Let's get this money, you guys. So, yeah, that's the way we're going to attack this first game. We're going to get involved with the Rangers under. I do expect the Minnesota Wild to win, but I'm going to take the Rangers under. Game number 2 here is an unrested spot. The Florida Panthers taking on the Toronto Leafs north of the border. And Sergei Bobrovsky will start. It is confirmed for the Florida Panthers. They're number 1. Anthony Stolarz will start for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And here's another situation where you got goalies playing well. You do have the second end of the back-to-back, as I mentioned, for Florida. It's Bobrovsky that will start with this game. He did let up 3 goals on 21 shots. That was against the Canadiens. It's a sneaky Canadiens team. But he's been having a pretty solid year. You know, if we go back, he's got around 2.5 goals against average with a 90.6% save percentage. And they're 31-16-2 with this guy. Stolarz, last game, killer. 35 of 36 saves. They beat them Los Angeles Kings at home. There we go. No, that's the Marlins. Damn. Excuse me. So he crushed the Kings. The Kings were on a hell of a hot streak. We talked about that King spot, though. They just kind of ran out of gas, right? They played Colorado. They played Dallas. Who else did they play? They played Washington. And then they had Toronto coming into town, and Toronto's battling for some playoff positioning as well. So what we have here is Stolarz coming in with a 2.35 goals against average, a 91.9% save percentage. Panthers blew that 2-1 lead. They end up losing in overtime, so you got unrested overtime. Starting to see a picture here of what we're going to do and how we're going to attack this game. But the bottom line here, if your previous opponent just played a Pacific Division team and you're in the Atlantic Division, you're home with a rest advantage, you're 8-1. 8-1. And a lot of that has to do with, you know, kind of that effort of taking a team out of conference out there. Again, the overtime factor, all that travel that goes into it. 8-1, they're losing by 1.7 goals a game. Strong underlook, 1-5 to the under in that same position. But the favorite in division on a line less than minus 180 rolls up 27-3. This is an exact situation. You're the favorite in division. Your opponent's not rested, and you have 2 days of rest. The favorite in division with rest comes in and kicks the shit out of the other team. It's 27-3 when those happen. 30 game sample, 27-3 when we find that spot. And they're losing by almost 2.5 goals a clip. That's why I parlayed that Carolina and Toronto minus 1.5s. Because the margin of victories are so significant that I thought I want to take a shot with this thing. But the way I'm going to approach this game here, I mean, look, we're not even getting, I got Toronto minus 105. I think they're begging you to take this Florida team. As you look, I mean, it's moved now, right? What do we got now for the line? Minus 112, so it has flip-flopped a little bit. So everybody knows the Panthers are Stanley Cup defending champions, and they're so good, and Toronto struggles, and now we're going to give you Florida as a minus 108, as a minus 105, or an even money play. They're begging you to take Florida. The public knows Florida. The public likes their, well, especially their dogs on the road. And you got a Toronto team that's gearing up for the playoffs, ready to go down to a handful of games left in the season here. Toronto going to put boots to ass. I mean, look, -1.5 plus 220. Love it. But we don't need to get greedy. We can take Toronto in regulation at plus 130. I like the big score, as I talked about with the Rockies game, but I'm just going to take the -112 here for this game. Well, now it's -112, right? -105 is what I had gotten that at earlier. Either way, I don't care. -105, -110, -112, -115, -120. I like Toronto to win this game. Anything higher than -120, I'd start to look at the regulation. Shop around, get the best rate. We're going to take ourselves a Toronto Maple Leafs 27-3 in that position. Let's go. Zoe says, Razor scorching hot. Let's go. Is Razor auditioning for Barstool? I'll endorse him. If you need a reference, Barstool, if you're listening, I know you guys are, because this is the best goddamn show you can be at before you make all your final bets, Barstool. I know you're listening. Razor and I are a package deal. Now you know. Okay. Onward and upward. Last hockey game of the night. Now look, Nichushkin. I like that guy for Colorado. I like him to score a goal tonight. At plus 150, he's the second favorite. Second highest odds, second lowest odds to score. Anyways, he's number 2 on the goal chart. He's priced at plus 150. Maybe if you're going to take that first period over, 1.5, you parlay it with Nichushkin to score a goal. This dude's been shooting. If you look at his games, his last 5 games, the guy's been firing the puck 2+ times every single game. I think 8 out of his last 10 on top of that. Nichushkin, plus 150, anytime goal scorer in that Colorado game. Would I be surprised to watch Colorado lose and the game goes under? Nope. Sharp respected betting action came in. They were all over the under in that Chicago Blackhawks Colorado game. I don't want any part of it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to mess with that juju. But I'll go on out to the west and I'll take a look at this Kraken and Vancouver spot. Because what are we looking for? Teams that are fighting for playoff opportunities. And that's what we have here. The Vancouver Canucks. A lot of people like them to not just get in the playoffs, but go far. Joey Decord is unconfirmed. Probably going to be the starter. We saw Grooves the other day, I believe it was. 24, 20, and 5 is Decord. 2.77 goals against average and 90.7% save percentage. Seattle's sneaky little effers is the way I would describe Seattle. They're 31, 38, and 6 on the season. Man, when you count them out, they find a way just to punch back. And they lost. I mean, they've been on a hell of a road trip. The Canucks. The Kraken, on the other hand, hell of a homestand. They had those back-to-back games against Dallas, too. So it's like you played this. Just got to be a weird. They played 2 games against Edmonton, a game against Calgary, 2 games against Dallas. Oh, then you got Vancouver. You're rolling into Vancouver, and you're going to try to make something happen. I just don't see how they're going to do it. Overall, I mean, we'll talk about some trends here in a second, but goaltending-wise, clearly the edge stands with Thatcher Demko. Thatcher Demko's a little bit like Frederik Andersen, injured. He's 8-7-3 on the season. 2.83 goals against average, 89.2% save percentage. He's the number 1. He's 8-7-3. That means he's played 18 games. He should have 60, or at least 50. And, the Canucks have lost 2 in a row. They're 0-1-1. They're chasing down a wild card spot in the West. They're going to their number 1 guy. He allowed 3 goals in the last game. It was a 3-1 loss to the Winnipeg Jets. Okay. The Kraken. Well, the Kraken did find a way. They're sneaky, as I mentioned. 6-3 win the last time these teams played a month ago. I don't know that it's a revenge spot, but I know this. When you're off a loss against a conference opponent, you win a lot. You're familiar with the conference opponents. You need the games. Those are kind of bounce back spots. They're 252 and 120. That's a 372 game sample showing you over a 2-1, over a 66% win rate if you're off a loss versus a conference. If you're playing a divisional opponent and you're the home favorite, we've talked about this all year long. You're a home favorite for a reason. 80 and 30 are those home favorites against their divisional opponents. 80 and 30. Now we've taken a 66% win rate, and we've almost made it a 75% win rate. And then if you want to talk about one of the best teams to bounce back off a loss this year, well, it is Vancouver. The Canucks off a loss are 55-32. Not quite 2-1, but just an extra little caveat to support the fact that the divisional home favorite, in this case being the Vancouver Canucks, should win. They need all the points they can get. This is a spot that I jumped in and said, I think this is a regulation win for these boys, and it's another plus money price tag for us at plus 111. Plus 111 for these fellas to come out there and get her done. It's minus 155 on the money line. Shit, you could probably, let me just take a look at this. Just for fun. I'll take a look at this. Since we hit that 4-teamer yesterday, let me toss this 3-teamer out there. 4-teamer. That's awesome. Carolina, Toronto, and Vancouver puck lines are 1748, plus 1748. And if you slap the Minnesota Wild in there, it's plus 43.37. Okay, you have me. Just toss a 50 on this thing here. Yeah, okay. Just a fun little play. Just a fun little kick out. Why not? We got some big plus money price tags that we're hunting here. Big game hunters. Grandma Horse Racing. What up, Grandma Horse Racing? Haven't seen you in a minute. I hope you're doing well. Hope all is well with you, Grandma Horse Racing. It's so nice to see you in here. We missed you. The Red Sox go up 1-0. Early Red Sox lead. Let's go. 2 games in the NBA. Actually, I lied. I got the 3rd game in the NBA. We'll start with this first game. I'm almost to the, win one, lose one in the NBA here. I think we're going to catch 3 tonight. I'm going to take the under. Right off the gate, I'll give it to you guys in this Celtics game. I like the under. It has moved down to 212 from 212.5. This line started at 10.5. It has not moved. And you have 66% of the bets and 65% of the cash on the Celtics. No movement. Celtics double-digit favorites. Heat smash? Nasty Nate? Can the Heat smash? I don't know. Is the wrong team favored? I don't know. 12.5 with 86% of the bets and 89% of the cash have come in on the over. This line's dropped down a half a point, even a point on some books. Should Tyler Hero go out there and smash? Yeah, Tyler Hero to get a bunch of threes. If they're going to be competitive in this game, he's got to be on fire. And I wouldn't object to anybody laddering that spot. The fucking Celtics have been busting everybody up. However, I didn't want to say this about Vancouver because I didn't want to put that juju in the air. Paul and Boats, we got to have the ads because we need the members, my friend. Get yourself green. We can turn the ads down. We need the green members. Green. Go green. Paul and Boats. I don't know. Sometimes YouTube wants to get their money. Celtics, what do they have? A 6-game road trip? Finish it off. Portland, Sacramento, Phoenix, Spurs, and Memphis. They won them all. How stupid is Ja Morant? Can we talk about that for a second? We got a minute, right? The fuck is wrong with that dude? Seriously. What do you got? Shit for brains? Literally? They were handing out brains. You thought they said trains and you decided to step out of the way so you didn't get run over? I don't understand. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll probably be as disappointed as I am. You already got issues. You already been suspended for being a dummy. And you're going to go and make those gestures during the game. What a fucking idiot. Anyhow, Celtics are making their first game back home. They did have 1 day off in between, but they are back home for the first game after a long road stand. And they're playing a team that's been busting teams up as well. The Heat have gotten hot. They're heating up. It's hot in Miami. There's a lot of strip clubs in Miami. They did beat up Charlotte at home. They did beat up Golden State. Not just beat up Golden State, but it was 112-86. Peter Grassi, I agree. Stupid for a pro athlete, man. You don't got a team of people around you telling you you're being stupid. Like, people looking out for your money, and they're telling you, this is going to get in the way of your money, dude. What are you doing? Yeah, the Heat gone out there. They busted up Charlotte. They busted up Golden State. They busted up Atlanta. They busted up the Phillies and Philadelphia, and they busted up the Wizards. Now, they busted up a bunch of shit teams, with the exception of Golden State. But look at the way their defense has been playing. They let up 94, 95, 112 against Atlanta, who we know likes to run hot, 86 against Golden State, 105 against Charlotte. Wrong team favored? Maybe. I'm looking at the under in this game. It's low for a reason. Miami intersects with Boston on these unders. 10-0 for Miami to the under when the game total's lower than the previous game. And they're going under by 10 points a game. The last game was totaled at 215. It went under. The game before that, by the way, was 215. It went under. We're down to 212s, 211.5. Books, the numbers suggest under. But let's not stop there. Let's look at Boston. They're 8-0 to the under. When the total's 9.5 points less, 9.5 or more less than the previous game, if they're not a favorite of 14.5 points or more. It's close, 10.5. But the last game total was 236. This game is easily 24 points less than what it was that previous game. 8-0 to the under. And when they go under by 12.5 points a game as well. So you got double digits on both sides, intersecting zeros. Totals previously lower than the last games. All of that intersects for me. I'm going to take the under, 212. Let me double check the best. Let me just double check that I got the 212. 211.5. 211.5 is the number that I got. I'm good. 10-point margins. Good for me. Shot time. You guys got me. You got me. All right, game number 2. I'm going to look at the Jazz and the Rockets. Huge favorite. 17.5 dropped to 16, and it's going down. 227.5 on the total's gone to 228. So you had 61% of the bets and 56% of the cash on the Rockets. You have 93% of the cash. 93% of the bets and 90% of the cash on the over. And yet we're seeing this number come kind of oscillate a little bit, I guess is probably the best way I would look at this one. This is a tough game. How the hell? 16.5 points. Look, it's not pretty, but it's an under. Because if Fred VanVleet plays, you can play the Rockets. And if Fred VanVleet's out, certainly don't play the Rockets, but play the under. Because they find a way just to get busted up and rolled. And I'm not going to go as far as the wrong team favorite in this thing here. But, it's a lot of points for a reason. I think it's a good number for us here. Now, look, the Rockets, only 98 points against the Lakers the other day. They do find themselves in an 11-0 position. The total's more than 220, and they scored less than 100 the previous game. Does fit a Rocket situation. But no Fred VanVleet, no way, no how. Not me. I'll take the under in this game. I've seen it enough. Seen it enough this year. That's it. No Fred VanVleet. Bueno. Give me the under in this game here. I did lock down a 228 for this under. And I think it's good money. I think it's a good shot for us here with the no Freddie, no wait. Last game for the night, we'll talk about here, Dallas Mavericks action here against the Atlanta Hawks, the aforementioned team that's been running on the overs. With 53% of the bets and 54% of the cash, the Hawks have moved from +2.5 to +3. So you got reverse line movement. Sort of, right? It's not a ton of cash coming in, but there's more money coming in on the Hawks than there are on the Mavericks. Let's move to full point. 2.5 to 3.5. Total's gone up. 85% of the bets, 82% of the cash on the over. 237.5 moved to 239.5 out there in this game. So that kind of correlates. And it does look like, for the most part, we should have PJ Washington's out. I hate that illness, but he's out. Everybody else should be in. Clint Capella, Jalen Johnson. We'll see what happens with Boofkin. Anthony Davis is in. Kai Jones is in. Trae Young should be in. That's why I think the total's going. We got boys playing. They're ready to play ball. The problem is you got a travel situation. It's a bad travel spot. Maybe the worst. Some would say the worst travel spot. Look, when you're playing an opponent that's got a less than 50% win percentage, and they're on the second leg of a back-to-back off a home game, meaning that they're traveling. So you got travel, back-to-back, no rest. 128-77. Find those teams like the Dallas Mavericks. 128-77. 3.5's a low number. I think there's a lot of reason behind, you kind of go back to, I don't know if recent form dictates a lot of this here, but, the Mavericks were 4-1 in their last 5 games, both against the spread and straight up. Those were road games. Lengthy road trip. Where's the toughest place to play a game after a long road trip? The first game back home. They lose to Brooklyn, 113-109 in their first game back home. Say a lot, a little repetition in that process there, but it's true. And we see it time in and out, time and again. All these teams, we talk about them back and forth. And what happens in that situation is Dallas did us a favor by sandbagging that last game. They were 9.5-point favorites. They lost outright by a 4-pack. The books put the bad number on those teams like that in the Dallas Mavericks. And on the other side of things here, you got the Atlanta Hawks. They're 1-3 in their last 4 games. 2-2 against the spread. They had themselves, so this is kind of that shit schedule spot that we talk about. On top of the toughest place to play the first game back home, they are on the second leg of a back-to-back. It's not just the second leg of a back-to-back, though. Look at this traveling spot, right? They had a home game against Philly. Over the next 4 days, they go to Houston, they go to Miami, they go to Milwaukee. You mean you're everywhere but California, right? You cover the whole fucking country. Then you come back home for 1 day to play Portland. Now you're going back on the road again, so you'll have 4 of your last 5 games on the road. That's a bad schedule spot against Portland. I think it's a bad schedule spot. And the Mavericks did us a favor by sandbagging and taking the loss that last game here. I'm good. I like Dallas. I got Dallas minus 3.5. I think that's good money. I think that's the way we're going to put the bow on the show. And we got it right down to $6.59. How about that? How you like them apples? Shout out to Grandma. It's good to see Grandma horse racing here. Lucky Power, Marty Riggs in the house. Each and every stride. Razor Sharp Picks. Kelly V. Trisha M. Peter Gracia. Nasty Nate. Paul and Boats. Appreciate all you guys hanging out here with me tonight. Do me a favor on the way out the door. If you haven't done so yet, smash the like button. Make sure you do share the video and subscribe to us here at Sports Money if you haven't done so already. Get in the green. We love it. We love to see our members. We love to see the enhanced members, silver and gold packages out there. We love to get you guys more action. If you support us, we want to support you. And lots of videos out there for you guys to check out. Today, we've got the VB Ramon Scott UFC first look. They got 3 fights they broke down. You can check out the rugby action out there. I think there's 3 games involved in the rugby action. Just a 5-minute video. It's a shorty. That's money while you sleep. Then we're going to pop off First Strike tonight. We'll be live tomorrow. PFL Combat on a Thursday is going to be a great place to be. I want to shout out Grandma Horse Racing before I leave the show here and say, Gifted 5 Sports Money Memberships. Love Grandma Horse Racing. Appreciate her contributions, helping us build this community. And if you did get one of those Gifted Sports Money memberships, drop down to that little $sign. Get yourself a silver package. It's $5 more. I'm going to give you guys some extra plays if you support us. We appreciate you doing just that. I appreciate Grandma Horse Racing. It was good to see her again. And, of course, hope all is well in Grandma Horse Racing world. We'll see you guys again real soon on behalf of the Sports Money crew. Thank you guys all for coming in here, hanging out with us tonight. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button, and we'll see you again